Hey, hi, hello. My name is Mia Marie. I'm a Western tropical astrologer and I make videos about both astrology and tarot. So if you like what you see, hit the subscribe button. Today, I'm going to be talking about July's astrology and how it directly impacts you. Now, to begin with, the general energy. July is going to be a month of slowing down. If you follow other astrologers, I'm sure they've said the same thing. And the reason why is we have so many planets in retrograde. Now, when you hear retrograde or when you see it on social media, people like to put the emphasis on revisit, revise, restart, and all those things are true. The way that I like to think about it is when there are retrogrades, there are certain software updates that we have to download. And in order to do that, we have to pause our productivity. And if we attempt to interrupt the software update, it could fuck it up in one way or another. And the way that we're going to go about getting this software update is we're going to do the Cancer thing. We're going to pull back and observe. We're going to collect as much information about our environment and then contemplate, what do I want to do in response to what's happening around me? While there are multiple planets in retrograde, I will say that Venus is the life coach at this time and actually throughout the entire year. And what she does is she goes, okay, what do you value and why do you value it? You have a set of values and morals, I suspect. But are you living by them or is it just wishful thinking? And the way that you'll grow in your awareness as to where you stand with your relationship to your morals and values is you will have multiple opportunities where there is choice. There will be choices presented to you that reflect your past, your present, and your future. And it's up to you to see which one you gravitate towards or which one that you mindfully choose. And these kinds of conversations, these choices that we're being presented with are important because in the middle of July, we have the South Node sliding back through Libra. And that means that we are going to be called out aggressively for all the ways in which we are codependent or over-reliant on others to the point where we will willingly sacrifice our identity, our courage, and our authenticity to be a part of a group or to be in connection. No matter how fake and phony it is. So without further ado, let's see where this is happening for you. Gemini rising. On July 1st and 2nd, you have Jupiter and Taurus making a sextile to the Sun in Cancer between your 12th and 2nd houses. This feels like a small win behind closed doors. You may have been focusing on your mental health and taking small steps behind the scenes to feel better about yourself. It could have contributed positively to your self-esteem or your competence. And this is just a moment where you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, love it. Love that for me. On July 3rd, we have the full moon in Capricorn, and this is great energy. If you don't know about it, check it out on my channel. I made a whole video about this full moon, but it's happening in your 2nd and 8th house. So I see you strategically, consciously stepping away from partnerships, relationships, business relationships that just don't serve you. They feel toxic or just, it's ugly. It's giving gross. And you're focusing more on something that you can do. The Sun is in your 2nd house of building skills and competence, making sure that you can sustain your own life. Not only lead your own life, but can you pay your own bills? You might be learning something, right? Going back to school or practicing a specific skill set. I see you focusing on showing up for yourself in material, physical, financial ways. And also this full moon is square the nodes. So there is kind of a karmic fated event that happens where you pivot for sure out of one direction and towards another. And at the same time, there is an emotional intensity that comes with the experience you're having, and you're using that energy, that friction to work on yourself and to make yourself someone that you can rely on. July 1st through 9th, we have Venus and Mars in a conjunction in your 3rd house of writing, creative ventures, short-term trips. You may be celebrating something that you have created or accomplished as it relates to writing or vocation or speaking. And at the same time, you may have found yourself in situations where you had to defend your creativity or defend your opinion. But it's almost as if you're getting into lower grade conflict with childlike behaviors. And so you're able to dismiss it and write it off as someone who just wants attention or to have their opinion validated by you. On July 10th, two things happen. We have Mercury moving into Leo and Mars moving into Virgo. So when Mercury moves into Leo in your 3rd house, you are suddenly holding the microphone. You have written something that is worthy of attention and appreciation. You're wanting to talk to everybody. You're trying to collect as many details as you can. It can kind of feel like you're the social butterfly who's asking all of the essential questions and getting the answers that everybody needs to hear. With Mars moving into your 4th house, this could be home life, presenting some trials and tribulations over us reaching for perfection rather than progress. You or your family members, the people that you live with, can be potentially nitpicky. You may also be in situations where you are psychologically challenged. Maybe you're presented with something from the past or some kind of past programming, but this is conflict that's hidden behind closed doors and maybe even between blood. More generally, though, we're just looking at conflict within the home space. Now, it's helpful to recognize that this energy, this transit, exists to help us purify and streamline the systems that we have between our family members, between our family, and even between like the pathways, the roadways within our own brain. So it's not terrible. Meet it with an openness and flexibility and listen for the nuggets of wisdom in the harsh criticism that you may face. By July 17th is a big day. So this is going to be a long one. We have the new moon in Cancer making an opposition to Pluto. So again, there might be some dramatic falling out with people that you have a business contract with or shared resources with. You're stepping away from toxic friendships. But at the same time, there's a blessing. You feel a sense of relief now that this is done and over with, and you are fully focused on paving a new path in a different direction. Any emotional burdens or baggage that you've been carrying is suddenly released. You feel empty, but in its place, you don't feel scared or fearful or insecure. You feel like you are loving, nurturing, and taking care of yourself. You may even find yourself in a mothering role in your life and in the lives of the people around you. The next big transit that happens is that the nodes move into Aries and Libra. This triggers your 11th and 5th house, by which I mean that you are going to be pulled away from patterns of behavior that you exhibit that only exist to get affirmation, attention, and applause. Any way that you betray yourself by the way that you dress, the hairstyles that you have, the things that you create, the things that you say, any way that you currently shine that isn't an honest reflection of who you are, is just not going to last this transit. At the same time, you're going to be pulled towards networking and social circles, finding your group of people who are doing the same thing as you and who have similar morals and values and goals and aspirations for the long haul. So yes, you're building competence and confidence in yourself, but it's directly tied to you needing a group of people to help you advance. You're looking for real friends. The last thing for July 17th is we have Jupiter and Taurus making a square aspect to Mercury and Leo. This is a lie that you're telling yourself, but you can't tell it's a lie yet. You're being delusional. There's an unconscious motive that's driving you to do certain things. Look for areas where you are extending hope or tolerance or acceptance towards a certain person or behavior or situation, and every single time you're let down. So this might be a time where you're feeling optimistic, as if something is going to change, as if your belief, your unwavering belief, is about to be proven true after time and time of waiting. It's not going to happen. Jupiter is the planet that is the size of all the other planets combined, but it's filled with nothing but hot air. While you feel good, this feels just like a moment of excitement rather than something anyone can stand by or meet up to. On July 22nd, the sun finally moves into Leo, and the sun loves being here because what the sun wants, Leo wants too. And so the sun has no problem shining or having a gravitational pull. And speaking of which, your gravitational pull on this day for the next month for Leo season is going to be on communicating. You might be finding yourself extremely busy meeting and talking to multiple different people. So if you have your own private practice, this could be a time when things are booming. You're socializing a lot. You're trying to build that network. You're spreading your wings, feeling like a social butterfly. And at the same time, Venus is going retrograde through this house. So you may be rethinking the types of conversations you want to be a part of or where you're expending your mental energy. And this could show up as people gossiping or unloading their drama on you, and you're like, oh, this actually doesn't add any value to my life, and I would rather not pay attention or hear this. And so I see you realigning your morals and values as it relates to communication. You may also want to be more forthcoming about what you think people are doing or saying. Now, this is a fire house and you naturally have this energy with you, but again, I just feel like you're reassessing the foundation. What you used to find is exciting and stimulating and fiery is just not doing it for you anymore. This energy comes to a peak on July 26th when Venus retrograde makes a conjunction with Mercury. You have something to say or someone has something to say to you. Now, because this is Venus and because this is Mercury, the mind, it feels like our guard is down. We're a little bit more open to a conversation that we would naturally be closed off or defensive to, or even aggressive towards because it's in Leo. So, just keep your eyes out and recognize that just because a situation or person presents itself doesn't mean that it needs to be reintegrated. Sometimes things just represent themselves so we can detangle any emotional knots that we have or tie up any loose ends. I personally would not take anybody too seriously at this time, but fuck it, free will, do as you please. And we end the month with such beautiful energy. We have Jupiter and Taurus making a trine aspect to Mars and Virgo. This is your 12th and 4th house. So there's something happening within your home space, within your family, something that you've been working hard on, exerting effort towards, and you finally feel relief as if all of your dedication, energy, time being of service to your family is paying off. There is closeness. There is a feeling of optimism and expansion. What you were experiencing during the middle of the month is no longer a problem. You've come out stronger and you feel proud that you stuck with the conflict and saw it through. Okay, that's all I have for you. If you would like to work one-on-one with me, you can find me at wellandrising.com. Toodles!